Well, Ann Coulter, of course, the best-selling author. You can get all of her books. You can get her new column at just came out this week at AnnCoulter.com. Great stuff up on the website, AnnCoulter.com. And make sure you follow her on Twitter. It's Ann Coulter at Twitter. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. Hey, you've been speaking all over the country. You don't get nervous about all this traveling around?
There was an article in the New York Times about how safe planes are. You have to wear the mask the whole time, and as you know, I'm a long-time mask wearer on airplanes, and I'm with all young people, so they are. Yeah. It seems that, contrary to what they're telling you in New York, young people are not really susceptible to COVID, and they can't spread it because they're not symptomatic. And the colleges, I mean, it's a little weird. The colleges all have COVID rules, so there are limits to how many people can be in a room. We're all wearing masks, which is sort of too bad because I miss the liberal hecklers.
Well, they can still heckle you, but now you hear, woo, you don't know what they said.
Right. In theory, they could, but it's sort of groupthink sort of behavior. So that they don't seem to be coming out. They might be sitting there brooding silently to themselves, but they need to be in a group to do the heckling. Are
you using your microwave right now?
Why do you ask? Did you hear?
I got good hearing. I think I heard a little beep there, like a microwave beep, something like that. Would I be a good detective?
I might be. I'm not telling.
So, now what do you think when you watch Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, these press conferences, these affidavits? What chance do you think the president has?
Well, I assume there was cheating. The Democrats always cheat. I doubt it's going to make a difference because it's baked in the cake at this point. I mean, how do you, even if everything is true, even if the affidavits are true, election fraud is something you need to deal with before the election.
Yeah, that's true.
Afterwards, it's baked in the cake. So I'm glad to finally hear Republicans talking about election fraud. It's something I've been talking about for some time. Maybe they'll take it seriously. Maybe they'll start listening. The most important issue right now, for any of you young people who do not have to worry about COVID because you're young, or at least if you don't have any comorbidities, and you want to save the republic, you ought to be getting yourself to Georgia, because the most important issue of election fraud right now is what's going to happen in the Georgia runoffs. Those are January 5th.
Yeah, but when we find out there's a Canadian company associated with Soros, Dominion, and Smartmatic that do the counting, and the counting is actually done in Germany and Spain on those servers, how the hell did anybody allow that to happen? How did the RNC allow any of that to happen?
It does sound weird, and I mean, my first objection to it is my same objection when we all had to start wearing masks with COVID. This isn't made in the United States? What is the matter with this country? We have a lot of really smart people and good workers, and we've always made great stuff. Is it the unions that just drove every single thing that is manufactured is not manufactured in this country now? Trump was going to bring it back.
Well, he started to. That's one reason they had to get rid of him. The swamp thing is all these businesses wanted to make it over there because you can pay everybody a penny a year instead of $40 an hour. So.
No, that's exactly right. But I suspect that, I think you probably know a lot more people in this line of work than I do. But from what I understand, companies never really, the increase in pay per hour, they don't really care about. It's the union rules. Well, you're seeing it right now in New York with them shutting down the schools. At least from what I've heard, and I trust Mr. New York here, that the problem is that the teachers' unions bargained in protocols before they will go back to school until there is no more COVID. And it's the rules that are too expensive to comply with.
Yeah, one reason all the companies bribed Republicans and Democrats for years to move everything overseas. The cost of the workers, the rules go away, no unions, no rules. And also they'll tell you privately, insurance reasons. There's no insurance concerns ever again. If 50 workers blow up in a factory and it's in China, nothing. You don't have to worry about it. If one
I mean, that's a horrible thing about China, but there are also a lot of silly rules about, I'm sure this is, I mean, for something that can't be made here. Television production. That's why no one in TV seems to care about jobs being shipped abroad. But I remember doing MSNBC or NBC, and you go into the NBC building, and there would be, rooms full of makeup people just sitting around chit-chatting. I like to get my makeup done before doing TV. I have, 10 minutes to go on air. And no one's taking me to a makeup room, and I'd stop and ask, can you give me some powder? Can you do my makeup? No, we're NBC. That's MSNBC. We're not allowed to. Union rules. So that's the sort of thing that drives companies crazy. No, not my job. And I think in that book, The Future Once Happened Here, there's some hilarious rules by Fred Siegel of Manhattan Institute, hilarious rules from, the school janitors union, that really it has nothing to do with pay. You can make a lot of money. You can have a great life. Just, you got to give up on these obnoxious unions with their stupid rules and regulations and what an employee can be asked to do. So that's what upsets me most about the election machines being made in China or whatever.
Yeah, or the counting actually being done overseas. So, but you sounds to me like you don't think there's any chance of you believe there is some fraud, but you don't think it's enough to overturn
Democrats cheat every close election. Al Franken in 2008. Look up the gubernatorial election in Washington State of 2004. It was the exact same thing. The Republican won. Actually, it was Dino Rossi by 5,000 votes election night. And Democrats just kept, every few days, another week hey, guess what we just found? Another pallet of ballots? That's right. Bingo. Look, under the Xerox machine, until finally the Democrat won. John Ashcroft, remember they kept the polls open for 45 minutes in St. Louis, but no place else? So they do it all the time. Of course they did. And I wish it, and also they slipped through mail-in voting, which is absolutely subject to fraud. But Trump, as usual, thinks that saying something is the same as doing it. Just going around telling people there's voter fraud didn't do anything to fix it. So I don't know how you can fix it now.
Yeah, and we should point out, Republicans would be happy to cheat too, but the reason it's always Democrats, they usually control the cities, the municipalities, the lifelong career bureaucrats that control the machines, the counting, generally all Democrats. And we find out now they're being run by secretaries of state, put in by George Soros, far left-wing people. So
that's why there are many Democratic machines. There are no Republican. Yeah. No, they were started by Irish criminals. So if you're watching MSNBC, stop saying this is because these are majority black cities. These were Democratic machine cities long before black people moved from the south to the north.
Yeah, you're right. You never hear any city that's run by the Republican machine.
No, it was Irish criminals. New York, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Chicago, obviously. We're not worried about Democratic machines in, Salt Lake City, really even, not even Washington, or not even Los Angeles or San Francisco, Santa Fe. No, we're talking about Democratic machine cities that have existed long before they were majority black. Knock off the racism stuff, liberals.
Yeah, all right. Well, Ann Coulter's been on a speaking tour around the country, and as you go out into the middle of America, what are people as worried as people in New York about the virus and all that?
No. Actually, I don't know if people are that worried in New York. My experience is there's real life, and then there's television. And that's NBC and CNN. And they really love to keep. I think part of it is because they want to keep the ratings up now that there's no Stop Trump movement, or at least they don't think they need to. So the election's over. They need to really pump up the crisis. But the other thing is, and oh, please, God, let me be right because I can't take this anymore, that they just want everything to go into the crapper for the next, whatever it is, 65 days. Just misery, pain, plague. And then Biden and Kamala will get in, and the skies, the water will part, the sun will come out. I'm certainly hoping that's what it is, because, and by the way, one great thing Trump did, deserves credit for, this Operation Warp Speed is amazing. It's hilarious how fast this vaccine has come out and how fast it's going to be distributed.
Yes, when you want warp speed, Biden is not your guy. So, well, everybody get Ann Coulter's book. If you haven't read all of her books, they're all relevant today. You can go back if you have missed some of them. Go order them. You can go to follow her on Twitter, and you can get everything at AnnCoulter.com. AnnCoulter.com. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.